Oh, hold on a minute, you guys. You guys. You guys. I haven't been on forever. I'm a hot mess, but I said, they don't care. They just love talking to me. So I wanted to get on and talk about why we work so hard. And I know some people are going to be like, we work so hard because of the economy. We work so hard because prices are so high. And the reason we work so hard is a trauma response. So we have unhealed trauma, because here's the thing. If you slow down enough to just hear yourself or hear your thoughts, hear what your body's saying to you, like my belly hurts or my ass hurts or whatever hurts, you would hear the still small voice from your God, whoever that may be, Jesus, Buddha, whoever, that'll tell you. But the reason it's a trauma response to be busy is because then we don't have to hear this. Well, I am not busy. I don't do busy stuff. Even if I make shit up to do, like I'm making stuff up right now where I'm painting my house, but I only do it for like an hour a day. And the rest of the time I'm sitting. Not that I don't do things, like I do the dishes and I clean and then I sit. And then I go work for an hour and then I come home and I sit. Now, I'm not saying everybody, I used to be this person that's worked 105 hours a week, like nonstop, holy shit, what the hell, where do we, and it never got me anywhere. Like, I was like, oh, I'm gonna make all this money, I'm gonna get all these things. No. Since I've stopped working and slowed down and listened to my higher self and worked 10 hours a week, I'm like, holy shit. For one, you don't need all the shit that you're buying. And if you don't go out, you wouldn't need the gas. You wouldn't need this. There's a lot of stuff that you can not need if you're just sitting here. If you're sitting here in the presence of God and you just feel love, you don't need shit. You don't need to go to TJ Maxx. You don't need to go to the gas station. You don't need all the shit. And I know even I've had friends who's like, well, I can't do this because I'm busy doing this and I'm busy doing this and I'm busy doing this. And I'm like, do you know you're making all this shit up? Well, I didn't make this shit up. I have to really do it. Okay, so you really have to do the dishes. Me too. The dishes will be there tomorrow. And if you're dead, then somebody else can do them. And why I'm saying this is because when we grew up, a lot of, our family said, keep busy doing this, keep busy doing this, keep busy doing this. But if you have a connection to God, source energy, love, it says be still and know that I'm God and that hear me and just be quiet. It doesn't say clean the house and do the laundry and then take care of the kids and then and I understand we all have to have money to live. But it's like the stiller you are, the more connected to God you are, the less you have to work. Or he'll give you an idea, like write a book, boom. And then the other day I actually said, this thing came in my head and said, go to Greensville, Ohio, buy this stuff, put it on eBay. And I said, are you sure you want me to? I actually asked God, do you want me to? Yes. Went there, came back, put the shit on, made like $400 in 2 days because I listened to God. Or I could have went out and worked 40 hours a week for $10 an hour and I only worked like 3 or 4 hours. So God will give you the money and give you the answers if you listen. And you have to ask, it's like, God, how could I make more money in less time? You'll get the answer. You just have to be able to hear the answer. You can't be like, God, how can I make more money in less time and then go paint the whole house and take care of the kids? And they're like, God's like, hello, sit down, still Paul Boyd, I need to talk to you, but you're not listening. Hey, I've done this a million frickin' times. I'm just saying what I've learned. I don't do it anymore. Well, I'm not going to say that. I find myself, literally, the other day, I said I'm going to take the whole day off. And I meant take it off, like not even get up off the couch. And 3 times I got off the couch, I laughed and I said, sit the fuck back down. I literally told myself, sit down, because we won't. We won't take time to sit. We won't take time to rest. We won't take time to just being. We are human beings, like being, like just being here. We're not human workers or human go do shit for everybody else's. Not that it's not good. I do stuff for my daughter, my son, and different things all the time. Like today, I had to go do something for my son. And then the delivery won't be until 3 o'clock. I said, okay, well, till 3 o'clock, I'm going home and rest and doing the things I need to do, which is make this video about doing nothing or not being busy. I told my brother, I said, just take a rest until this comes in because we're fixing the brakes. Rest? Well, I wouldn't rest. Well, if you don't rest, you get heart attacks, you get freaking strokes, you get whatever. There's nowhere in the Bible that God says, hurry up and get this shit done, because you're hurrying up to get the laundry done and you're hurrying up to get the dishes done, and tomorrow there's more laundry and more dishes. So it never fucking ends. The dishes are always there. The laundry's always there. The bitching's always there. The kids are always there. You're the one that has to say, no, not today, dishes. Not today, kids. Not today, mom. Not today. I'm going to take this time for me. Take this time for me to sit. And that was the problem for me. I literally was sitting on the couch and I said, you're not allowed to do anything. And I was like, my body was literally getting up and I had to say, sit back down. And I was like laughing. I actually made a video on it. It's somewhere on my Facebook. And I thought, I can't fucking sit down. But it's just a trauma response of me always having to do something, or me always thinking I have to do something, because I think for me it was I didn't feel good enough as a child. You know, I didn't have enough attention. People didn't see or hear me. If I do all this today, someone out there is going to say, damn, she did a good job. Nobody's fucking saying that. I live by myself. Nobody ever says, hey, damn, you're doing a good job. Or nobody says, you didn't do the dishes today. Nobody ever says that. I'm the one that says that. I'm the one that gives my shit the shit to do. So I know I'm talking from a different spiritual level. I'm not talking about like your job or, you know, things that you have to do. But there's a lot of things that we put on ourselves that we think we have to do that we don't. And because of this, not having to do shit and making myself sit, I feel better. You just feel better because it's like you've opened this time for yourself. And like when somebody calls you and says, hey, can you do something for me? You're like, yeah, let me do something for you today. Let me help you. Not, oh my frickin' God, I've done a million things today. You don't even know. And now you want me to do this? That's how you are. Somebody could call you and say, you're going to do, like Skylar today. Okay. Yeah, I'll be back at 4 or 3 o'clock. Instead of like, okay, is there anything else you want me to do? You want me to clean your whole house? You want me to do what? No. Let them do their own shit. You're resting. You'll be back. And even somebody at the house goes, well, you're going home to rest? Yeah. Maybe you should try it. But back in the day, even me, I remember when I was working in Florida, at one point I was working 105 hours a week. I was like, what the hell am I doing? Too much work. It's not good for us. It is not good for us. It's not good for our body. And if you have to take off the Netflix, or you have to take off the car payment, or you have to take, like, I don't have a car payment. I could drive a fancy car and say, oh, I've got a Lamborghini that all I do is go to work for and pay all the insurance for and the car payment and the gas. Or I can just have a piece of shit car. It's not a piece of shit, really. It's a miracle because I pay $25 a month in insurance. I can go over. I just went to Myrtle Beach in it, and it's not the fanciest car, but I don't have to run to work. I can just be like, I could just lay here and do nothing. I don't have to pay a car payment. Now, years ago, I would be like, oh, I want the fancy cars and the fancy this and the fancy that, and I would have to work for it. But I think the rich thing is having the shit that doesn't have payments, and now I feel rich because my richness is I have more time to be with me. I have more time to be with my kids. My granddaughter called me and said, Grandma, let's go out to breakfast, 6 o'clock in the morning. I was like, cool, let's do it. We went shopping, we did all this stuff. If I had a job, I would have to be calling in and saying, oh my God, I can't go, or, oh, I can't go with you. No, we just said, let's do it on the whim, let's just go. I love that. If I had a car payment, I would be like, oh my God, I can't go, honey, I have to go make the money for the car. But instead, I jumped on it. I was like, I'm spending time with my granddaughter. That, since she's older now, I don't get that much time. So anytime I can grab from her, I'm taking it. So actually, the richness is time. The money is not the rich. The rich people have time, not money. I mean, they do have money too, but the less things, for me, since I don't have a lot of money, I've got a lot of time, but I'm saying I don't need the fancy car, right? At 55 years old, no fancy car is gonna I'm not looking to be somebody with a fancy car because instead of people see me, I care about how I feel. So I feel amazing that I don't have a car payment. I don't have to get up and run to work. I don't have to do all that shit. I just do what I want when I want to do it. Abundance and financial abundance to me is taking back my time, being able to do what I want whenever the fuck I want. That's what richness is to me. And to you, it might be the Lamborghini or whatever, and chase the money. I think I've chased money all my life. And then I realized I keep chasing something that I don't even have, and I'm like 55 years old. It doesn't fucking matter. I'm Grandma too. Why wasn't I invited? Oh, sorry. Well, I'm sure she'll be inviting you. Yeah, she never asked me to do anything. She usually yells at me. I told her, I said, you're usually yelling at me. I'm not the cool grandma like you. But we talked about you. And but yes, I had a chance to be with her. She called me. I'm up at 6 o'clock in the morning every morning, so she knows. And I think you and her are the late nighters. Well, I don't know if she sleeps, but also with her, we were talking about her working all the time. She has 2 different jobs, works all the time. I said, Jocelyn, you don't have to work all the time. You don't. Well, I want this and I want this and I want this. And I said, it doesn't buy you happiness. It really doesn't. I said, take it from an old person. It doesn't buy you happiness. You can't buy happiness. Money does not buy you happiness, but time and peace and love and kindness and togetherness, that buys you happiness. Also, my daughter, she was saying something about her body. I said, girl, I'm 55 years old. Now ask a 55-year-old about their body compared to what you are. I said, so you're bitching about your body? I said, enjoy this shit right now because this is what you're going to look forward to. Hanging, cellulite and all this other stuff. I said, you go out there and have the best body ever. Because we always do that. We were like, 20 years ago, I thought I was fat. And you're really not. You're not fat. You're not ugly. You're none of those things. But we always think we are. And we think we have to work all the time. We don't. It makes us sick. It makes me feel like shit. If I work all day, like nonstop, and I get home, because I do it every once in a while, and I'm like helping people, or say mom's in the hospital, and I've had to stay at the hospital one day from 6 to like 9:30 at night. I was so fucking exhausted. I didn't even remember going to bed. I woke up the next morning, I was like, holy shit. I felt like shit. No. When I take time for me, as long as everything's going good around the family, and I can take my time to rest, I do it. Now, I work every morning, but but I only work for a couple hours, and this, thank God, because this is just how I work. And I do eBay. So like my eBay makes me money enough to pay my bills. So that's the life that I've chose. Plus I like to put my spiritual, I do an eBay, or not an eBay, a YouTube channel, and I've got a lot of growth on there. And so I'm hoping one day to make that part of my income. And because I like to tell all about my spiritual journey and things like this. A lot of people in the world don't know. Like, I was just talking to a guy earlier outside in my yard, and he's like, well, I just work all the time. I didn't say anything, but I thought, yeah. And we hold it as a badge of honor. This is a reward. We work all the time. Only reward you get is illness and sickness and tired and feeling like shit. And yeah. Or bitching at everybody because you're just like, I've worked all day and then you ask me for this. I've done this a million times. The reason I'm laughing is because I've done that. I remember telling my daughter, like, how would you ask me to do something after I've worked all day? When we don't really have to do that. We really don't. We really do not. There's different, especially right now and where we live in the world with freaking online businesses. I wake up with hundreds of dollars in my account. I've been sleeping. And there's more than eBay to do. There's eBay, there's digital marketing. I wrote a book and put it on Amazon, make money from that. I mean, and that's something I did one time. I put a shirt on and sold it for $50. I put a shirt on like a couple months ago and sold it for $250. You never know what you got. But I just see it's a trauma response from back in the day. And I've done it. I don't do it now. But because I wasn't seen and heard as a child, you know, nobody listened to me. They just said, shut the fuck up, go to your room and be quiet. Then I'm like, oh my God, if I'm good and I work really hard, somebody will love me. That's not true. Nobody's going to love you. You're going to love you. And you loving you is peace and quiet and sitting around and taking care of yourself and making sure you're healthy, make sure you eat right. And stay away from people, including family, if they're acting like craziness. Believe me, I have to hang up my daughter, hang up on my granddaughter, hang up. The only person I don't think I've hung up on is my grandson. He doesn't talk much. I'm sure you know. But we haven't got to that point yet. But if he gives me some shit, I'll hang up on him. We haven't got, he hasn't got mean to me yet, thank God. He's the only one. But you have to choose you. You choose you. And you don't have to be busy about it. And they'll accept it. Just like earlier, they were like, oh, you're going to go home and rest? Yeah, I'm going to go home and rest. And they believe that there's something wrong with it. But it's just a belief system. And all you have to do is say, oh, this is not really serving me. This is not getting me anywhere in my life. So I think I'm going to go home and rest. And then because you've rested, you have so much more energy and you want to help people. Like if my daughter called me right now because I'm so rested and I feel, you know, I've got so much energy, I would be like, cool, what do you need? But if I had worked all the people that wanted me to do all this stuff, just make up shit for me to do today, and then she called me right now, I'd be like, I'm exhausted. I can't help you. I want to be there for the people that I love, and I want to be there for me that I love. And we've got to fucking slow down. And it's not busy, busy, busy. That is a trauma response. Journal it out. Look at it. Why am I doing it? Why do I think I have to make up shit to do? Because you don't. Or stop putting your shit on me. Jerka, stop putting your kids on me. Mom, stop putting your shit on me. Do your own shit. Unless it's like you absolutely cannot do it. And then like the other day, she gave Jasmine the car. I need you to go pick up Jamie. Yeah, I did that. But if she had the car, you know, then she would have did it. But I'm saying she doesn't put unnecessarily shit on me. You have to take your limits and be like, no, your lazy ass is going to sit there and then tell me to go do it? No. Get your ass up and do it. So, but that's what I'm talking about. And people will. They'll let you put, I know my mom used to do this to me. well, I need you to do this, and I do it, and then I need you to do this, and then she would, by the time I got back, she had another list. I said, no, I'm going home. Well, I've got all this stuff to be done. I said, it could be done tomorrow or the next day. Even, it was like Monday, I went and fixed her yard up for Halloween, and she said, well, come tomorrow and we'll do more, and I'm like, nope. And then she said, come Wednesday and do more, and I'm like, nope. I said, I might come Thursday. It's when I choose to. And she's like, okay. Now she says, okay, but years ago it would have been like, I tell you what to do and you do it. And I'm like, Mom, I'm a grown-ass woman. I do what I want to do when I choose to do it. That feels so good. Because I used to not be able to say that, you guys. And I heard a video where this guy was like, it's a trauma response for doing too much. And then when that guy earlier said, I just work all the time, and like it was a trophy. It's not. Because he said, I'm sick and I'm tired. And I said, because you need to go home and rest. Well, I can't. Yeah, you can. You believe. You have a belief that you can't. Change the fucking belief. And you just change it like that. And when you do, people will start going, oh my God, what is she doing? Oh my God. Because they don't understand the person that goes like this. Oh my God, I'm doing everything for everybody. Now the person's sitting and saying like, she's a freaking monk. And what are we doing with this person? Well, they don't know this person. Even my son, I cried the other day because he said, this is what you do. I said, that's the old me. I don't even do that anymore. And the reason I cried is because will he ever see me as the person I am today? Not the person who I was, because I was the crazy person before I became this spiritual, oneness, love, kindness. Not that I wasn't all that before, but now I'm aware of it and I practice it every day and I put it in my life every single day. But still the people that you grew up with or that you raised, my kids, go back and like, oh my God. And then I said, I don't do that anymore. And he said, you used to. Well, can we lay that down now? Can we lay the old me down so I can be, because here, you're getting the good part of me. Lay that bitch down. This bitch is way better. and honestly it is, because he actually told his dad, I don't know what, or I guess his dad said, I don't know what your mom's doing with all this spiritual stuff. And he said, she's better than she's ever been. And I am. And it's made my life better and their lives better. But still, they still remember the part of you that used to be that. And that's okay. You just keep confirming, this is me now. This is me now. That's not who I am anymore. I'm the peace, love, compassion, taking care of myself. And here's the thing. When you do that, then my son, peace, love, compassion. My daughter, I'm taking time for me. She was in a job that was killing her. Now she has her own job. She cleans. She has her own business. I am so proud of her. She's like making in 2 hours what she did in 2 days at the bagel shop when she had to work at 40 hours a week, when she's working maybe 10 hours a week and making more than what she was there. See, she's took on what I've taught her. You don't have to work like a dog. You don't have to. And she loves to clean. That girl will clean a house. I mean, and she folds laundry like I don't know how she learned that because it wasn't for me. And I'm just like, immaculate this girl is. I just don't know where she got it from, but whatever, she got it. And people actually tip her on top of paying her because she does an excellent job. So if you need a house clean, she's got you. But she's learned that you cannot work yourself to death and you can still make the money, because she's doing it right now. I actually had a conversation and I said, now see, but she didn't want to let go. How am I going to do it? How's the money going to come? I don't fucking know, I told her. I don't know, but it will. And it did. And she's making $70, $100 an hour when she's working, because she's not working all the time. She's working a couple hours, 3 or 4 hours a week. Day. And you don't have to work yourself to death. The money will come. Honest is just trust. Just say, God, I need this amount of money, all my bills paid, and I got to stop working so I can take care of myself. And you will get downloads. If you're quiet, you know, one day she's like, well, I should start a business. Okay, do it. And then if something else, start this, start that. Do it until it works. All right, I got to go. My phone is dying, you guys, but I love you guys. Thank you so much. I hadn't been on here and I wanted to make a video. So don't work, you guys. I mean, work, but not as much. And just ask God. He'll give you the answers. Love you.